Welcome, everybody, to the Resourceful podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Wilson, and today we have Professor Nez on here to talk to you about personal brand. Without further ado, I'd love to introduce Professor Nez.
Hey, Taylor, how you doing, man?
Professor Nez, thank you for being here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Great to be here. Honored to be here.
Absolutely. So, Professor Nez, I know that you're in the professional development and coaching and personal brand industry. And I'm just interested to find out more about personal brand and want to know as well, who is personal brand for?
That's a really great question. I really think a personal brand is just a kind of silly phrase, really. It's been around forever. It's nothing new. Really what it means is modern communications. And so most people have a mentality that, they are pretty much good with how things are going with the status quo, and they lack innovation. They lack the kind of presence of mind to understand that everything is changing and that adaptation is the key to the game. And when people, so another definition, when I say modern communications, I basically mean your personal brand is your reputation online. And the reason I say that is because everything is online now. I mean, there isn't an industry or vertical that can survive without having an online presence. So that's another way of looking at it. It's basically taking strategic ownership of your online presence. When somebody searches for Professor Nez on Google or Bing or Yahoo or whatever, what is going to come up? Well, you have a lot of control over that. And if you take ownership of your message and you clarify that, employers, customers, your audience, clients, partners, potential mentors, and potential opportunities are going to be a lot more prevalent because you've clearly defined who you are, why people should pay attention to you, and what problem you can solve. And so it's really, I don't think there's anybody who can afford not to have it. Like if you're looking to advance your career, or let's just say you have a really great job. Let's just say, forget about even advancing your career. Let's just say you have a great job. You're already set in your ways. Well, guess what? Nothing is secure in life. If COVID has taught us anything, there's no such thing as security, right? I mean, people get complacent. And there's younger people, hungrier people, innovative people. There's people out there outworking you every single day. And not to add distress or anything like that. It's just a matter of understanding, staying abreast of the landscape and understanding how people are figuring things out, how people are executing in their industry. And to me, again, there isn't an industry on planet Earth that can afford not to have some type of an online presence, some type of a strong personal brand. Because I say personal, not that there's anything wrong with a business brand or anything like that. The reason I say personal is because, people do business with people, right? People buy from people. People hire people. They don't hire credentials. They don't hire your accolades. They don't hire a piece of paper. They hire a person, somebody who is a living, breathing human being. And so that's the kind of essence of personal brand, which is putting yourself out there in a way that identifies, hey, I can help you. Hey, this is who I am. If our principles align and our values align, we can do something. And there's people who are just, like one of the best places to build your personal brand right now is on Clubhouse. I'm on Clubhouse a lot. I've already got almost 2,000 followers on Clubhouse because it three-dimensionalizes you. It gives a voice to who you are. It's not just a website. It's not just a LinkedIn profile. It's not just a diploma. It brings you to life. Personal branding is a way of demonstrating to the marketplace your value and what you can bring to it. I know that's the longest answer of all time, but it's really not more complicated than that.
Yeah, no worries at all. Well, I'm interested too. What is Neznation?
Oh yeah. So Neznation is kind of like just a sort of fun name for our community. I consider what I do more than just a business owner. It's kind of a media company too. Like I have a very strong I have the number one personal branding podcast on Apple and Spotify. It's Neznation Live, Personal Branding 101. I also have a very, very powerful, presence on LinkedIn, as you know, with my content, my LinkedIn Lives, and YouTube as well. And so, and Facebook. I mean, we're pretty much everywhere. And so Neznation is just an amazing community whose mission statement is bringing more humanness to this digitalness. And so why do I say that? Because people have an impression. Most of my clients are way older than you, Taylor, and maybe your audience too, where if you even say anything online, or if you even mention Facebook or even mention YouTube, they recoil. It's like, oh no, I don't want anything to do with that. That's where, predators are. That's where hackers are. That's where my privacy is this. And they just get all this negative stuff from the news, which the news is so skewed. It's only giving you the negative of everything. That's how they make money. And so my whole goal is I'm living proof of this. I met Taylor. I met you. I've never met you in person, and I hope to change that soon. But like, you're an amazing human being that I never would have met if it wasn't for this amazing technology. Clubhouse, which I just mentioned, I'm connecting. I've already had 3 or 4 clients that I've been able to, bring into my ecosystem, and also a ton of people I've connected with, through these amazing digital assets and these digital communication lines, you could call them. And so when I say bringing more humanness to this digitalness, this is just a tool. This is not something that wields you. You wield the tool. And so, I really, really strongly am against these documentaries on Netflix, like Social Dilemma, where everything is negative, like online social media is ruining our lives. No, it's not. You have control over your life. You have control over your every day-to-day action. Facebook is not making you vote for Donald Trump. Like Facebook, the Russians can't get into your brain. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and saying, buy that stupid thing on Amazon. Like, I believe that we have more power than the mainstream media tells us. The mainstream media tells us we don't have power, that we're automatons, and that that social media is this sorcerer who's casting spells on us and hypnotizing us. It's not true. I've met some of the most amazing human beings. I'm an adult. You're an intelligent adult too, Taylor. And most of your audience is too, all of your audience. I'm sure they are. You can make decisions. You have the power over your actions. And so that's my mission, is to be, and I'm living proof of this, bringing humanness to this digitalness. Social media and the digital kind of, ecosystem, it's not a nefarious thing. It's just a tool, and it depends on how you use that tool. And if you use it in an effective, strategic way, it can be phenomenal. Just like any tool, right? Like a car is a tool. Like, if you use that tool in really, heinous ways, it could cost you your life. But if you're actually careful and you're strategic and you watch the road and you pay attention, your car can get to you to where you need to go safely. So these are all just tools. And so another long answer, but Neznation is our community, our awesome community. And you, Taylor, are definitely a member of that Neznation family. And anybody listening, if you want to, it's really just a kind of way to identify, our tribe, and kind of just put a name on it. It's not like, oh, Professor Nez is the leader of Neznation. No. This is a community. I'm just a facilitator. I don't consider myself a leader. I don't consider myself the head of Neznation. It's just a way for us to come together, recognize each other, and say, hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you. And just bring more inspiration to each other and help each other.
Well, thank you for that. And I'm interested too, why did you start Neznation, and why do they call you Professor Nez?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. My last name is Nezafati, and it's kind of a long name. And when I first started out in the public sector, just really quickly about my story, I started in the business world when I was 13 years old, helping my mom with her leather shoe and leather handbag store, retail store. And we opened up other locations as well. And then I went into the public sector because I just was kind of going through a lot in my 20s. I was going through a lot of depression, anxiety, which is why I talk a lot about that on my channel. And I wanted to take it kind of easier. The business world at that point I'd been kind of burnt down on what I was doing. And so I wanted to kind of, at least in my mind, I thought, hey, it'd be kind of cool to get my master's degree. And I love writing, I love creativity. Maybe I could go into the education world. I love inspiring people, I love teaching. I got my degree so I could become a professor. And so my students actually coined the term because it's a difficult name to pronounce. And so actually, especially when you see it written out. And so actually my students were the ones who coined the term. It was awesome. They're like, hey, Professor Nez. And it just has a nice ring to it. And I was like, you know what? I like that. And so when I started this whole kind of online venture back in the day, the reason that I decided to start Neznation and start creating content was, and I was kind of on MySpace too, like way before you were born. I was monetizing a blog, so I've been in the online space for a while. But like in the last 5-8 years, the reason I started my YouTube channel and started my video content and other content was a very, very specific reason. I had a student come up to me, Taylor, and say, Professor Nez, I just paid $100,000 for a piece of paper and nobody will hire me. And it broke my heart. There's nobody here on planet Earth, Taylor, that has more sadness towards our educational system than me. Our educational system as a whole, in North America at least, has vastly underserved our students. You've got people talking and pontificating and professors and administrators. It's the exact opposite of the business model of what creates a fantastic business. When you want to create a fantastic business or media company or brand, it's all about serving. In the education world, they think they know what you should be learning, and that's what they teach. And so the reason, and that story is so resonates with a lot of people. This is why Google and Amazon and Microsoft and all these companies basically said, we don't care if you have a degree. A degree doesn't, you don't have to have a degree to apply here anymore, because they realize the people who are coming out of these universities, they don't have the skills. They have zero skills because education has robbed them, literally robbed them. And so this might cause a lot of anger and a lot of, I may get a lot of pushback from this, but I truly believe our educational system is broken. You could learn just as much by listening to podcasts like this and the University of Google and YouTube than you can spending hundreds of thousands of dollars at a private university. And so that broke my heart when that student came up to me and said, Professor Nez, nobody will hire me because I don't have any skills that they want. And so I decided to give away everything for free, all my knowledge, everything that I've learned, because it was just important to me. And I felt it was a mission. And, these students, people your age, Taylor, I also have a selfish reason too. Besides the fact that I love to help, you guys are going to take care of my kids. My kids are 9 and 7. It's your world. I'm old. I'm going to be dead and gone. And so why wouldn't I want to contribute to that? Why wouldn't I want to help that when it's you and my kids' world? And it's my job as the kind of old dude to sort of, give back and help in any way, shape, or form I can, because I love my country and I love my family. And I believe the essence of living is giving. I truly believe that. Let me repeat that. The essence of living is giving. It always comes back. And so that was really one of the impetuses for starting everything.
Well, thank you for that again, Nez. And I'm interested too, how can others learn more about personal brand and keep in touch with you?
Yeah, just Google Professor Nez. My YouTube channel is all about branding, business, and mindset, and how to really develop your professional and personal life. I'm a big believer, in my tagline is helping you, inspiring you to grow your impact and income online. My mission is to really help you discover your purpose and make money doing it, because purpose is everything. Purpose is bigger than happiness. It's actually longer lasting than happiness. When you know what you were put on this earth to do, you will be invincible. And that is a discovery that is the most important discovery. Notice how I said discovery. You can't create that. You can't fabricate that. It's not something that you can materialize. It's something that's already there. You just got to get yourself out of your own way and discover it. And I feel like I'm pretty good at helping people with that. And I've got results to prove it, right? Like I've built amazing businesses around that, as well as a brand. So yeah, I mean, if you, I've got a podcast, whatever you listen to, or whatever content you like to consume, whether it's video, whether it's written form or audio, you just type in Professor Nez on your search bar, and you'll see Spotify, you'll see Apple, you'll see LinkedIn, you'll see my YouTube channel, my website. Just Google Professor Nez and you can find me all over there. I would prefer that you subscribe to my YouTube channel or my podcast, but whatever you prefer, it's up to you. I'm pretty much everywhere.
Professor Nez, it's been a pleasure being here with you today. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. This was a ton of fun. I really hope that you got some value out of this. I hope it inspired. And yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Till next time.